I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada in January of 1968. I was born on Nellis Air Force Base because my dad was in the Air Force. Being a child of someone in the Air Force, I moved around quite a bit when I was in elementary school and up until high school. I moved probably every 2 years. The kids at the schools always were different at every school. It depended on the school and depended on the situation, but some schools I would go into and I would be the most popular girl in the class, and then I would move 2 years later and then I would be the girl that nobody would sit next to at lunch. I was the new kid that they kind of picked on. So I had a variety of experiences throughout middle school and high school, so I had a little taste of every kind of treatment, being the popular kid and then being the not so popular kid. Some of the pros and cons of being a child raised in the military environment were I was exposed to a lot of different types of people, a lot of different situations, which benefited me in a lot of ways. It made me appear to be a more confident person. I was a better speaker. I was able to make friends, and so that really helped me a lot as I got to be older with getting jobs. And just being a well-spoken person, I think, in general. The cons, I mean, it was just very difficult. There were a lot of insecurities. There were a lot of times in school where maybe I would be learning one thing and not quite understanding it, and then I would move to another school and they would be finished with that subject. So there were gaps that I had in my education along the way that I really had to struggle to catch up and to learn. And so luckily for me, I was kind of a self-motivated person and I was a hard worker, but I think for a lot of kids in the military, it would be very easy to fall behind. Some of the good things were that like I said before, I had a lot of different friends, a lot of different types of kids that had grown up in different situations that really benefited me. One of the things I learned from being exposed to so many different kids was that oftentimes the kids that approach you first and want to be your friend right away aren't necessarily the best kids to hang out with. They may be the ones that want to influence you to make bad choices. And so I learned that early on, and so my strategy to overcome that was to just kind of stand back for the first few days, kind of see which kids were the kids that were the ones that I wanted to be liked, that I wanted to emulate, and so those were the kids that I tried to be friends with, and then I tried to avoid the kids that maybe wanted to do the things that I didn't really want to do, like smoking or skipping school and doing the things that kids shouldn't be doing. My advice for high school students in general would be, although high school seems that will last forever, you'll never get done, when you're in the midst of having papers due and those kind of things, just remind yourself that high school goes by very fast in the scheme of things, that you need to take it seriously, that everything you learn in high school will relate to your future, whether it's learning to get along with classmates or to do things that you don't want to do and still do them anyways and do them well. That would be the lesson that I would hope that you would learn through high school. I met my best friends in high school. Their names are Allison and Lisa. I met Lisa and Allison initially in middle school. They were best friends and I was a new student, so this was one of the times that maybe I wasn't as popular as the school that I had come from. So in 8th grade I moved to the school and they were best friends, and Lisa was very nice to me, but Allison was not. So then I ended up moving and going to another school for 9th grade, and then in 10th grade I went back to high school where I met Allison and Lisa again. And Lisa was assigned to my locker to be my locker mate. And so Allison, being Lisa's best friend at the time, was very jealous and wanted to be in our locker as well. So we didn't have room for the three of us, but we made room for Allison on the floor of our locker. And throughout the first few weeks of school, Allison was not very friendly to me and was kind of mean, and I have to say I probably wasn't friendly to her either. I maybe purposely dropped some books on her head when she was trying to get her books from the bottom of the locker. But over time, Allison and I actually became pretty good friends. And so throughout the years, the three of us would do things together. And so Lisa and I continued our friendship, and we became probably better friends of the three. But Allison, Lisa, and I still stay in contact to this day, and we're all adults with our own lives and our own families, but we always make time for each other. Moving as often as I did throughout my life and having all the experiences, good and bad, and looking back at all the memories that I've created over the years, I would never change a thing. I would think that not growing up in the military and not experiencing all of the adventures that I had and meeting all the people that I met would make me a different person. And I like the person that I am, and I feel like even in the tough times, I overcame those challenges. I learned to work in difficult situations, and I had a lot of fun along the way as well, and I wouldn't change a thing about my life.